Final Destination franchise still going strong after 25 years? Director James Wong reflects on its lasting popularity. It's been 25 years since the release of the first Final Destination film, yet the horror franchise remains a cult favorite among audiences worldwide. The series, known for its shocking death sequences and unique premise centered around cheating death, continues to captivate horror fans with its thrilling blend of suspense, gore, and dark humor. Even after more than 2 decades, the Final Destination films have maintained their relevance in popular culture, a feat that director James Wong believes stems from the franchise's distinct ability to deliver consistent and shocking entertainment. The first Final Destination movie was released in March 2000, directed by James Wong, who also co-wrote the script with Glenn Morgan and Jeffrey Reddick. The idea for the film originally stemmed from a rejected script for an episode of The X-Files. Wong and Morgan, who had worked as writers and producers on The X-Files, saw potential in the story and decided to develop it into a feature film. The film's premise, a group of teenagers who cheat death after a premonition and are subsequently hunted down by death itself, was unlike anything that had been seen in the horror genre at the time. The movie followed Alex Browning, played by Devon Sawa, a high school student who has a disturbing vision of a plane explosion moments before boarding a flight to Paris. After convincing several classmates and his teacher to get off the plane, Alex watches in horror as the plane explodes just after takeoff, exactly as he saw in his vision. But surviving the crash turns out to be just the beginning of their nightmare. Death begins to reclaim the lives of the survivors one by one in a series of elaborate and gruesome accidents, reinforcing the central theme that no one can escape fate. The film was a surprise hit at the box office, grossing over $112 million worldwide on a modest $23 million budget. Its success spawned a franchise that has since produced 4 sequels, each focusing on a new group of characters who managed to cheat death, only to find themselves pursued by an unseen force determined to correct the balance. The franchise has grossed over $665 million globally, securing its place as one of the most successful horror franchises of all time. James Wong opens up about the franchise's enduring legacy. James Wong, now 65, recently opened up about why he believes the Final Destination franchise has endured for so long. In an interview with Bloody Disgusting, Wong reflected on the first film's success and the lasting impact it had on audiences. He recalled a particularly memorable moment during the movie's initial run in theaters that made him realize just how effective the film was in connecting with viewers. "I remember going to a theater during the first run," Wong shared. "We suddenly saw a bunch of ushers from the theater walk in the middle of the movie and just stand by the side. And I realized it was right before the bus hit. They just wanted to see the audience react." The scene Wong referenced is one of the most iconic moments in the franchise. In the first movie, Terry Chaney, played by Amanda Detmer, steps off the sidewalk after a heated argument, only to be struck and killed instantly by a speeding bus. The sudden and brutal nature of her death shocked audiences and became a defining moment for the series. Wong continued, "I think they did a whole advertising campaign where they had cameras on an actual audience and popcorns flying and all that stuff. It's so visceral and surprising. I really feel like that's the kind of fun that Final Destination delivers on a film-to-film basis. I think that's why it survived." According to Wong, the franchise's unique appeal lies in its ability to tap into universal fears about death and the unknown. Unlike traditional horror films that rely on supernatural entities, masked killers, or haunted houses, Final Destination explores the inevitability of death itself as the antagonist. The concept that death can't be outrun or cheated makes the films resonate on a deeper psychological level. "There's something primal about it," Wong explained. "Everyone has that fear of dying, and the idea that even if you escape a tragic event, death is still going to find you, it plays into that deep, existential anxiety that people have. That's why audiences keep coming back." The evolution of the franchise. Following the success of the first film, Wong returned to direct Final Destination 3 in 2006, which featured a deadly roller coaster accident as its central premonition. The third film further cemented the franchise's reputation for creative and gruesome death sequences, including the infamous tanning bed scene, which left a lasting impression on horror fans. The franchise took a more meta approach with Final Destination 5 in 2011, which cleverly tied back to the events of the original film. The final twist revealed that the events of the fifth movie were actually a prequel to the first film, creating a full-circle narrative that delighted longtime fans of the series. Throughout its run, the Final Destination series became known for its elaborate death sequences, which were meticulously designed to maximize suspense and shock value. Unlike conventional slasher films where the killer is a physical presence, Death in Final Destination operates more like an unseen force, manipulating objects and creating chain reactions that lead to seemingly random but ultimately inescapable deaths. This Rube Goldberg-style approach to horror became a trademark of the franchise and set it apart from other horror films of its time. The cultural impact of Final Destination. The franchise's influence extends beyond the horror genre. It has been referenced in numerous TV shows, movies, and even memes. The concept of narrowly escaping death only to face an even more gruesome fate has become a trope in popular culture. Phrases like, "That's such a Final Destination moment," are often used to describe near-death experiences in real life. The films also tapped into societal anxieties about accidents and safety. The opening disaster sequences, whether it's a plane crash, highway pileup, roller coaster derailment, or bridge collapse, are rooted in real-world fears that make the films feel unnervingly plausible. The franchise's ability to transform mundane, everyday scenarios into nightmarish set pieces is part of what gives it such lasting power. A new chapter, Final Destination, Bloodlines. After a 14-year hiatus, the franchise is set to return with a new installment titled Final Destination, Bloodlines, scheduled for release on May 16, 2025. The new film is directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein and written by Laurie Evans Taylor and Guy Busick. While plot details are being kept under wraps, it's expected to follow the franchise's signature formula of a group of characters who cheat death, only to face increasingly creative and horrific demises. Wong expressed his excitement about the upcoming film, noting that the creative team has found new ways to refresh the franchise while staying true to its core themes. "I think fans are going to love it," Wong said. "It's going to have the same tension and unpredictability that people expect from Final Destination, but with some new twists that will really surprise audiences."